flying triangles elevates. Yo, I represent Head Planet. Professor O's America, America. 아주가 말해 부르지 암바사데 Professor O's America, America. 마모테 브라질 오이 할라테 Professor O's Head Planet. Professor O's America. 미기 옥살 원이 마와레.
So at my seminars, I have been going over a lot of passing, and one thing I want to emphasize is what's on the back end of these passes. This is going to be more so a resource for anybody that's been to my seminars to see, oh cool, well I can get into that position, now what do I do from there, you know? Because the idea was to make it easy to pass, but I would like to show some of the finer nuances of how to really dominate the tail end of that pass and not just jump to the other side of their hips or whatever, the other side of their knees, and officially pass the guard, you know. Let's look at how you can really polish off the tail end of these passes, okay? So the main pass in question here is the post pass, okay? The important thing about the post pass to understand is that it's different from a lot of inside passing, where inside passing is not available anymore because this person has chosen to keep their knees and their elbows really tight to their body, okay? Inside passing would be available if the knee is facing up. Now I can step to the inside of the leg, or I can move around with a frame on her hip and stuff, like Toreandos, you know? But in the case of having the knees and elbows really tight right here, we kind of need an answer for this, okay? And that's what the post passing is mainly intended to do. It's to wear on an opponent right here, okay? The main issue you're gonna run into when you start settling on top of someone's legs right here is that they're gonna be pushing me down towards their legs, okay? We don't want that. We want to stay up here with our body weight closing and punishing their frames for being sideways like this and not facing towards the ceiling. So we want to punish them, wear out some of the outside muscles, whether that be the leg or the arm, okay? And then we can also have ways to put them out of position. Obviously, she's in a better position if she turns with her shoulders stacked on top of each other, okay? If I can do something to turn her to where she's at a 45-degree angle, now she's even more out of position because her spine is in a twist, okay? So we're gonna be going over some of these positions, and I hope this will give you a little bit of clarity as to what to actually do once you're in the post pass, okay? Let's start with putting the spine out of position by basically lawn darting our head into their shoulder, okay? So if she's on right here. Okay, so I'm on top of her leg right here. I'm hanging out, okay? Let's say we're not really dealing with a frame just yet, okay? The frame itself is also crushed, and we'll go over that in a second. But right off the rip, I want to take my forehead and I'm gonna just kind of lawn dart it, okay? Now I'm also, for all of these moves, except for the Turk, I'm gonna keep my knee off the floor. My knees are gonna stay off the floor right here, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to lawn dart my head into her shoulder right here to put a twist in her spine so her shoulders cannot stack, okay? So by lawn darting right here, it keeps her spine in a twist, and it makes it harder for her to generate force because her body's gonna be at a mechanical disadvantage. So the lawn dart on the shoulder, pushing that to the mat right there, and that should help with keeping a twist in their spine, okay? That's gonna be the primary focus of head position until we run into an issue with them trying to get our head out of position, all right? Now let's look at the next detail. How how do we deal with the frame when her arm isn't just a limp noodle and she's actually trying to push us down towards her legs? Okay, let's look at that. So she's on her side, okay? I am trying to put my head in position, but she's pushing me down towards her legs and retracting her knee towards her shoulder, okay? That's a problem, okay? So when I start feeling this elbow up here, okay, what I want to do is I'm actually going to take my rear arm that's on top of that arm, on top of this top arm right here, and I'm going to actually like swim it over and eat it. What I don't want is I don't want the elbow in front of my shoulder, okay? I want to swim up and crush it, okay? So let's do that a couple times. Just keep your leg low for now. Okay, so I'm right here. I'm dealing with this elbow, okay? It's in front of my shoulder. I'm gonna swim it and eat it. One more time. It's on top. Swim it, eat it. We can look at the back side. See, I'm putting my head down right here. I'm gonna swim over the shoulder, over the elbow, and eat it. One more. I'm trying to put my head through, but she's pushing me down towards her legs. Play the elbow. I'm going to swim up, eat it. Now my head goes back, and I'm going to push my head into the shoulder, put the twist in her spine. So now we've looked at putting our head into the shoulder to put the twist in the spine, and now dealing with that collarbone frame that controls the height of our body relative to their body. We're gonna swim over the elbow and crush it underneath us, just like we're crushing the leg, and then continue to wear on them, okay? Try that, eat the elbow. We're eating the elbow. Okay, so we've talked about, now that we've covered head positioning and what we're doing with our arm, at least the top arm, let's look at what we can do with our leg also, okay? Particularly with the Turk. So for those of you that don't know what the Turk is, it's kind of like a grapevine with the intention of applying valgus pressure on the leg, okay? So if we have two different directions the knee can go, we have varus outwards and we have valgus inwards, okay? A heel hook, for example, is valgus pressure. When we do the Turk, it's valgus pressure. If the body follows the knee, see, I can't turn in an opposite direction of my knee, I have to go where my knee goes, then the Turk is essentially setting up a big wall, forcing me to turn away, okay? Now that's important for a move like what we're about to do with this post passing. I want to turn them towards the floor, right? I want to continue to crush them towards the floor. So let's apply the Turk with the post pass that we've been doing. So I'm going to keep the arm crushed right in here. Okay, so I'm in position right here. Ideally, for the sake of being nice to my partner right here, I'm going to keep my rear leg on the knee on the floor a lot of the time. But remember, guys, I want both your knees off the floor to keep proper pressure on them, okay? And I'm going to do the Turk now. So to do the Turk, I'm going to collect her leg right here, and I'm going to do a heel, I'm going to do a hamstring curl towards my butt, forcing this knee down, okay? This is what a Turk is, all right? So if she boots her leg or her foot, it's going to be easier for me to practice this. Yeah, you see how by her booting her foot, it makes it way more dramatic of a movement. If they ballerina toe their leg, it's going to make it easier for it to slip out, which will actually test my control. But for the sake of learning, the boot's going to make it easier for me to practice understanding how to Turk. So when I get the Turk, it might be easier to get to bite the Turk in by like turning more towards their leg, biting it. But when I'm ready to apply the Turk, I have to actually turn my hips down and I have to slide my knee away from them. You see that? And this, I understand, like before I said like we want to be as high up as we can on them. When I have the Turk, I'm forcing her knee down towards the mat. So it doesn't matter if I slide my knee back, and force it down, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like from the back. Yeah, so if I'm having trouble getting the Turk, I can supinate my leg, turn my knee outwards so that I can bite it. But in order to apply it, I have to turn my knee back down towards the floor and start sliding my knee down, okay? And hamstring curling my heel to my butt. Now, if I was to apply this with the post pass that we've been doing, I need to get my head position in and I need to eat the arm like we talked about, okay? And now we can focus next on what to do with this arm once we've gotten into a strong position like that. So the Turk is a great position for controlling the direction that their knee is going. So maybe they can't flare it anymore. Their knee's now being forced into the floor. It's going to encourage your opponent to probably turtle. That's like the best option they have. Or just give you the mount, you know? So the Turk's a great move. It also connects to a lot of takedowns, like a good Uchimata counter has the Turk involved in play on that too. So the Turk's great. I highly recommend adding the Turk to your game, especially if you got long legs like me. The Turk is a great option. So remember, if you're just starting off with your partner, have them boot their foot. It's easier to practice. Then once you feel like you're getting a hang of it, have them ballerina toe. Hope that helps. Okay, now that we've kind of given a job for like every single limb on our body while we're post passing, let's look at what we need to do with this one arm that's left, okay? This is just our problem solving arm, okay? So if my partner is laying down on her side, and I'm right here, so this arm's gonna be good for like kind of checking this knee, keeping it low. If she tries to pull the other knee through and up, I can kind of continue to push that down. I can dominate this inside space right here between her elbow and her knee, okay? We call that the knee elbow, right? So we can dominate the knee elbow with this free hand that we have right here while we continue. Again, for the case of like filming this, you'll notice my hips are like kind of flared up towards the camera. Guys, I want you, when you're doing the post pass, to actually turn your hips down, knees off the floor, and we're kind of weighing on the end of her knee right here, okay? And then my head is in her shoulder, and what I'm saying for this section right here is that this hand that's free is checking the knee. We can mess with the hand, check the knee, mess with the hand, check the knee, and later on, you'll notice we might move to like a cross face. That is the job of the free hand, while the other arm on the top side is eating the elbow, wrapping the hip. This one on the bottom side is going to be checking the bottom knee elbow, and then yeah, just controlling that knee elbow space, okay? And then we'll use it for progression moving forward. Maybe a near side underhook, maybe a cross face, but we'll get to that in a second, okay?